like we had this huge roster of songs, and we spent like 3 nights listening to it over and over.
So can I tell you how I bet that went? It started out with a bottle of wine and everyone having a great time doing that, and after day 3 you're all just like, you kidding me?
After 10 minutes.
After 10 minutes. 5 minutes.
It was like, first song, okay, this one has to be. No, this one never has to.
After you said it was going to be on the album. No, I changed my mind. You can change your mind.
First of all, I want to do the human thing and say thank you for joining me today. It's good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Great to see you all on such an amazing day. We're not very good at sort of, look, it all came together very last minute because we have very little time.
Okay.
But this is for you.
Oh, cute. Thank you.
Wow.
And this is
Tequila,
for you.
yes.
And that's for you.
Tequila.
And no one wants to be on camera while they're eating, but there's a whole tray of cookies for later if you want to eat them.
Cute. Thank you.
The reason why we did this is because you are Grammy-nominated New Artist of the Year yesterday.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
There's been a lot of swearing this morning.
Yeah, I bet.
Very nice gesture.
I bet. Things like, holy
Even worse.
no way.
The Italian versions.
Yeah, I bet. I just think it's a beautiful thing. You know why? Because you really earned it. You've really worked and put in the time and reached out to all of us and said, this is what we are. There's nothing about the Måneskin experience that is expected.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like incredible to think like what's happened in only like 1 year and 1.5 years after everything like completely changed in our lives. And of course, this is like the biggest milestone I think you can hope for. So
the last 12 months, 18 months has been remarkable. But I'm saying like kids starting out, kicking down doors that were not open to you.
yeah.
It wasn't like anybody was like, oh, there's a roadmap for success where you're from and the music that you make on a global level. There was no one said, oh yeah, there's a band that came before you that played the Forum 10 years ago. Here's how you do it.
Sure.
You did it.
I said it.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, that's the present moment. Long may we stay in it. But we still have things to talk about, music to play, album to talk about, and touring. I mean, how are you feeling? This is an old school US tour.
It is.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It is.
100%.
It's like some 80s. Like, this is advances to go out there and take it to the people. So how do you feel?
We feel good because like we've been touring the whole year, so now like the machine is very well oiled. Like everything comes easier than normal for us, and in general we always enjoyed playing live a lot because we feel like it's the cherry on top of all the work that you've done, because everything that borns and raises in studio at the end has to sound good live.
Ethan, you have such a privileged position at the back, right? You get to see the whole thing unfold before you.
Right? Yeah.
You're up high, you get to look at it, the drummer gets to understand how the show is going. It's almost like you could be reviewing the show from the drum kit if you're present of mind enough to do it. Like when you see your friends in front of you and the chemistry becomes something that you can't put into words, what does it feel like for you?
It's magical. I mean, I always had the best position, actually. I have to admit it. But I really like how they interact like between them and the crowd, and how the energies go on like during the gig.
Yeah.
I really like it. And like, yet I still have to really be focused during all the performance, because if I messed up some hits, then everybody's like noticing, right?
Of course.
So I really had to be focused on my thing. But yeah, I'm really enjoying all this tour. You know why? Because the crowd is so energetic, and even if I'm the farthest one from the crowd, I'm really feeling the heel and healing with them as well.
And there's something about knowing your role in a chemistry, right? In something that is the sum of all parts, is greater than the individual. Damiano, for you, being at the front singing, and ultimately a lot of the energy of how it's going to go, and you're an energetic band. But if you're tired, or if you're feeling honest, and you're an honest person, I remember that from last time, you're a truthful human. If you go on stage and you know it's not, you got to work through something, how does that pressure feel for you, knowing that it's like the crowd's looking to you first and foremost? Like, bam, how is he? Is he on form?
I think I always feel very, very comfortable getting on stage, even if I'm like a bit low on voice or sick or anything, because I think that the main thing of our live part is not even like my singing or their playing. It's more about the interaction and the chemistry between us and the crowd. So if I'm like low on voice, I just let the crowd sing a bit more.
You worked out that trick already?
Yeah,
You're way ahead of schedule. I love it. It's
Sure,
the best
man.
trick. I took a photo. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to show you. I took a photo, and it was something I thought was really special before. You're outside having a smoke, and I just took this photo. I mean, it's not a great photo, so it's not going to go anywhere with my phone, but I just took the photo of your legs. Of the four of you, just from the waist down. And the reason why I took that was because we spend so much time looking at artists from the waist up.
That's true.
And we try to acknowledge everything that's going on in that moment. And the weirdest thing happened when I saw you standing outside and I couldn't see what you were talking about or what your faces were doing. I got a real sense of the camaraderie of the band. Like your body language was tight and each of you was sort of facing one another. It didn't feel separate at all. It felt really precious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
How often do you allow yourselves in amongst all of the thrash, the crowds, me, everyone, your team who love you but still keep you busy, do you allow yourselves to just have that moment, just the four of you away from everything else, like it began?
I think that we're like learning more about our boundaries during this year, especially because, of course, since everything blew up, we've been very happy and excited and wanted to do everything, you know? So, of course, I feel in this industry...
We want you to do everything.
Exactly. So everyone is like giving you things to do, but we were happy to take them and we never felt like saying no to anything. So this year has been really, really intense. And I think that now we are not settling, of course, because we still want to go and do best and best and best, but we're trying to understand that sometimes it's okay to say no to something and take time for ourselves, for both our personal lives, but also like to give more time to the music and do things with the right amount of time and not to stress all the time. Because then I feel if you burn yourself out, then it's hard to enjoy what you're doing, you know? And that's like the biggest shame of everything, like when you lose the passion about what you're doing.
That's when it ends. We've seen it so many times over and over again, great artists, because the art falls further and further down the ladder of priority.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really tough. Have you been able to maintain and improve your EQ, your emotional intelligence as human beings, as just people through all of this? Because to your point, we're good at asking you to do.
I think that even if it was like a very, very intense experience and very demanding and tiring, I think that like being under that amount of pressure and that amount of busy and things to do, it kind of helps you grow because you understand like which are your limits and what you really enjoy to do and what you enjoy a bit less. So it kind of helps you to build up what is going to be the next 5-10 years.
You have to make tough calls. I mean, you had to make a tough call this year. It kind of broke my heart as a fan a little bit, but I broke my heart on your behalf that you had to say no to Reading and Leeds in order to come play something else. I spent a lot of my time in the UK. I know how important Reading and Leeds is for fans and how much you would have slayed that festival this year. Like,
Thanks, man.
I actually think you would have owned it. But you had to make that tough call.
Yeah.
And I've been dying to ask you how tough that was and ultimately what the reason was behind that. Because fans ultimately understood, but not at the time. You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
There's no right answer.
There's no right answer. And I think that's no right choice in this kind of moments and situation. Of course, for us, it was like very sad and hard to decide. We thought about it over and over and over.
Everyone's got a rationale behind why you should do one or the other.
Sometimes people could understand like the strategy things, and sometimes it's very hard to keep everything together all the time. And we try like our best to keep it like authentic and organic. but sometimes also like we don't know which is the right thing to do.
I know you roll with a good team. I know you have someone super close to you who ultimately helps guide you and helps you make your music. Can we talk a bit about that relationship? Because it is quite unique in the modern age to have somebody that close to you who understands the aesthetic and philosophy of the band in equal measure. Normally it's one or the other.
It's very weird because of course like we started working together when we did the X Factor, and he was like the musical director. But we felt...
What a great day at the office for him.
Yeah.
What a great day at the office for him. He's going to go home, he's going to go, sweetheart, you know, I think my life's just changed today.
Probably.
And we felt like
that.
this huge connection immediately because he was like the only guy there who was a musician and who kind of understand and had the sensibility to understand the journey and
to nurture your story. Bands like you were supposed to be out in week 1. You're not. You're supposed to be kicked out after week 1. You're not supposed to go all the way.
Sure. And I think he managed like to dive into our 4 different personalities, and now we have this kind of brotherhood family relationship, and it makes everything kind of easier because you trust blindly the person who's giving you advices and who's helping you.
To be fair to everybody, they're on fast forward to try to understand what really makes you tick. And you don't have the time, right?
No.
To explain yourselves over and over again. That's his job.
He knows sides of us that of course nobody else in the industry knows. So when we have to write music or take hard choices, he's helpful.
And then we have a song like Feel, which is just, excuse me, Kasabian crazy, mad.
I like that.
that.
That's cool, yeah. That's
Like
a cool
that.
reference.
Right.
Shout out for
perspective.
Kasabian.
Yeah, because it has that sense of groove and a bit of revolution to it. So it's like dance floor with a scowl on, you know, which I love that about that particular that side of Måneskin, because you give a lot of reasons for us to put our hands in there and sing and be joyous. But like that makes me want to be like, a little bit. Where does that come from? What part of the band does that come from? Is that you, Victoria? Is that all of you? How does that kind of...
I think that like this whole record is, there's a lot of variety compared also to our previous records, because like this time, instead of like trying to find a common direction, the 4 of us, and follow it, we tried to follow more each one's individual direction and ideas and stuff. So I think that's also where a lot of the inspiration for every different song comes from. And this one especially, it was very thought like about the live side and also the vocals and the instrumental being like
tied together.
Just like, as if it was one instrument, like everyone's doing the same riff at the same time. It's just like about the energy of being all together and the sound of the words and everything.
I think that it's one of the songs that actually it's one of the most kind of a meeting point between the 4 of us. Because there's like the riff thing and then the melodies are more my universe, but it's a meeting point. But what Victoria said, it's very like on point. That this album is very different because instead of starting from the center and trying to space out from it, we started from 4 different places, which are our 4 individualities, and we tried to.
I love that.
Going on the same island, you know.
I love that. It's so smart. It's just on a human level, it's so smart.
Yeah, this album is a monster, really.
Yeah, because you figured out that
Frankenstein.
Actually, do you know what we do?
Frankenstein.
Do you know what
correct.
we do? What we do with bands is we take a look at you as one image, and we want to keep you all together, and then we say, oh, you must be all the same, and da da da, and we all like an absolute shock when you break up.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And what you've figured out is that actually the sum of all your parts, the individuality that you all have, and the differences is what makes
the differences.
That's what makes you special.
There is no point in like trying to limitate each other and everyone just being selfish and thinking about their own thing. It's better if we like embrace our differences, and even if like maybe, I don't know, someone has a different taste in a direction I might not be the first fan of, and same goes for them. Like, it's better to embrace all our differences and give space to everyone to express themselves and like be happy and be represented by the record. So that's why we had to like really open our minds and like challenge our boundaries, because some things we would never have done without each other, you know?
Yeah, totally.
God bless Vic, right?
Like
the
this whole
the
project.
Danish diplomat in the band. It's very important, right?
No, that's just what I'm thinking. I'm the last
Actually, it's
diplomatic.
not. Actually, it's not like that.
This is the final point of the.
This is the final conclusion after 1 year of being a bitch, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's too good. I love that.
Not the diplomatic one. Definitely not.
Oh, man.
But in the end,
But
I
in the
learned
end,
my lesson.
we made it. Everyone. I think everyone took like huge steps.
This album, long, lot of big songs, lot of tunes. No, all killer, no filler, as they say. Out of how many? Is every song on the record? Were there ones that didn't make the record? Like, how did you put it all together as a body of work?
There's so many that didn't make it.
So we had like
Too many.
60.
Were you just exhausted by that? Were you just by the end of it like, my God?
No, we were.
At the end,
I was
I was like, I will never write a song again. Like too many words in my head. I was going crazy. But like we had this huge roster of songs, and we spent like 3 nights listening to it over and over, and every time doing like this championship, and every time this didn't qualify.
So can I tell you how I bet that went? It started out with a bottle of wine and everyone having a great time doing that, and after day 3 you're all just like, you kidding me?
After 10 minutes.
After 10 minutes. 5 minutes.
It was like, first song, okay, this one has to be. No, this one never has to.
After you said it was going to be on the album, no, I changed my mind. You can change your mind.
T, I want to ask you, Thomas, what was your favorite memory before you started to reach the world and and the X Factor thing, when you were just busking and hanging out and it was just you were making it up as you were going along? Was there a memory that really jumps out to you that's really precious, that when it was just simple?
No, it's okay. I will say maybe I have the time to stay chill, you know, and thinking all about the music.
Yeah.
This is the part that I missed a lot in that period.
Just
I will say that.
Focusing on nothing but what
just
you're going to write.
Music, just on the music, I mean, and just, I don't know, hey guys, we have this idea. I mean, on that period, it's happened like for this record, it's happened because we spent like 3 months literally.
Yeah, because you asked for it.
Thinking about, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, I miss a lot that part, you know, to have the freedom of, okay, I have just to thinking about the music. And so I think that the hard part now is keep this balance, you know, between the music and this crazy train that we live now at the moment. But it's cool because at the same time it's also a challenge in a certain kind of way. So.
And I have good news for you from my perspective, having spent decades and decades sitting in this chair or standing and talking to artists like yourselves, is that you're living in a time when the era of no is so much more accepted than it ever was before.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
that's very true.
Yeah, the awareness is spreading.
Well, we can't do it without you.
Yeah, it's rising up.
No, I think that a lot of artists are starting to talk about and kind of
correct the balance, right?
Yeah, renovate the expectation that the audience has on
good
you.
D, renovate the expectation.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Good. That's a quote. It's a good one.
But yeah, like you can expect every artist to do like 100 gigs a year. It's too much. Literally too much.
If you see me talking to somebody I wouldn't assume you'd ever watch my conversations, but if you stumble across one and I'm talking to somebody really cool and I use the term renovate the expectation, don't think bad of me.
I give it to you.
Thank you, brother.
I'm very happy to give it to you.
Thank you, brother. You did something that is a power move. It's a beautiful move. You teamed up with the great ghost cat, the great snow leopard, Max Martin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He who shall be heard and never seen. How was that experience?
For me personally, like I learned a lot on the writing process.
Me too. Because as a pop writer?
Because he's kind of a genius.
and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you guys are the rock band of the highest level. Like you are an engine that powers a Ferrari, but you write these pop melodies that are just kind of take it and just make it float in a different way.
Yeah.
Part of the magic of Måneskin.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a pop singer.
Yeah, but
Basically.
with rock star energy.
Yeah.
And so when you get to work with a Max, you're being
Yeah,
anointed, man. You're being
can-
anointed.
Yeah, we connected very, very well. Like, and also like you don't expect someone of his caliber to be like that open and say, I don't want to put like my signature on it. I just want to take what you're doing because I think it's very original and fresh and everything, and help you to maximize the quality of it. And I think that this kind of collaboration and sharing it has been very helpful for all the four of us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, I think, like, as you said, like, I think the cool part, and that has always worked also, like, between us, is that, like, we play, like, as a rock band with rock energy, distortion, pedals and everything, but then we can do on top, like, more pop melodies, but singing with Damiano's voice. So it's, like, I think that what's make an interesting mix between the four of us, and that keeps... like that makes us make rock, but in a more modern way somehow. Like it doesn't feel like we're, or at least to us, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like we're redoing the same rock that has been done in the 70s, you know?
No, you bring a flamboyance that has existed in previous
And that's why we so hate it. We should do the
Also-
same.
The flamboyance, or the fact that people think that you're retrospective?
No, the fact that we're not doing the exact same thing, but
other people.
I don't want to confront. I don't
that's
want. That's They
great.
will kick our ass.
That's
Yes.
that's great. You don't want to be accepted by people who haven't changed.
No.
That would be a
This is kinda interesting, right?
disaster.
I think that listening to the same kind of music for the whole life, it's kind of, you're not growing.
So pop music has changed so much. Like I was talking to Oliver from a band called the XX this morning. I was like, you changed pop music, and then Lord, I think, probably heard your music and she changed pop music, and then I think Billy probably heard Lord and she changed pop music, and then The Weeknd distorted the out of the hills and he got a radio hit out of it and he changed pop music. And so what you've done is you've come in on the rock stallion and changed pop music.
Yeah.
You're the band within that camp who said, like, why should everyone else get to change and we have to stay in the same groove?
Yeah, I mean, your point is pretty interesting. Like, I can agree with that. And I think it's a way of think things. I mean, how you think the music is how you approach it, and all of your actions are considering your thinking about the music. So your action creates music. Your music, so it's created by a new way of thinking something. So I think it's kind of tricky actually, but I think this is kind of the key of how we have made what we made.
It was also not like so thought about. Like we literally, when we started playing, we were like 16 years old and we were just like doing what we liked without thinking like, who's gonna judge us? Is this real rock? Like without any pressure. We were just like playing for fun in like school parties and stuff. So we were just doing what we liked. And that's like, for example, like Begging, that now is like the biggest hit we have. We just played it like for fun because we're like, okay, we were playing at school parties. We need to play a song that will make everyone in a good mood.
Yeah.
And then we started playing it and we just played it our way. So that would mean more rock than the original. But that's just how like our character developed. But it's not like we were thinking, okay, we want to make rock, but in a more pop way, but in a more...
There's no way anybody on the planet could have ever said we're going to get to be the biggest sort of like stadium playing rock band on the planet by going through X Factor and Eurovision. It's just not
You're probably right.
It's not a reality.
That's an anti-strategy.
It's the anti-strategy. And that's kind of what's beautiful about what you represent, is that you seem to really embrace your outlier status, that the outside is comfortable for you, even though everyone's drawing you in the room. I feel like you're the perennial outsider band.
I think that the fact that's more cool of us is that we feel comfortable in kind of every context.
Yeah.
Like either it's a TV show, is a super cheesy music competition, is a super elegant, I don't know, like whatever. And we just go there and do our... And if we have to jump on a table at a business meeting, we do it. Like it's just.
Have you done that?
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, we did, yeah, we've done it.
But like,
we've done it.
you know, it's just we enjoy what we're doing, and I think that shines through every platform we're in it.
Please tell me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I don't watch it a lot. But I'm lying, I don't watch it ever. But are you the first band or artist to truly come out of Eurovision in however long and actually have global success, actually crack America?
Us and ABBA.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
ABBA
In a
as well.
long
They
time.
kicked it, but yeah, like in the last few years, I think we can say that.
I mean, it's one of the biggest singing competitions on the planet, and then no one ever comes out and actually has a hit career. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
it's so weird. I mean, it should be Måneskins every year. You know? Maybe there will be. Have they invited you back? They must want to put you on the board of directors.
Yeah.
We go as guests. So
As
yeah,
guests
yeah.
of honor for the rest of your life. Would you go back?
like not in the
Like
competition.
Not in the
I mean to
competition.
go hang out and just.
Sure.
Why
Of
not?
course.
Why not?
Why not?
Because there are some artists that do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so some of them did
So,
again.
so.
He wants to go. He's like, yo, I'll do it. Let's go do it again. It was great fun. Let's go have a good time.
Yeah, let's win it again.
No, I'm not down. I'm not down.
You're not down. I don't blame you, man. TV tours are not fun.
It's like the European Cup. You can win it twice, 3 times, 4 times.
Can you imagine that?
Imagine we only start
imagine
doing
that.
Eurovision every year.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this
call our
would be
manager.
hypnotic.
New strategy.
That would be like a bit of cheating, but
I love that you've also been nominated. You have an associated Grammy nomination for your work on the Elvis film. Congrats. That's another thing that
Yeah.
should be acknowledged as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
that was a cool experience.
I bet it was because I see a lot of that kind of entertainer as artist. A lot of the time it's like if you're an artist to entertain, it's a fine line between over-entertaining and being an artist. An artist should be sitting there creating the art. Entertainer is to entertain. Elvis was both, and there are examples of both. Bono is both. Beyonce is both. You are both. So it must have been really nice as a band to be able to acknowledge the influence of someone like Elvis and also work with someone like Baz Luhrmann, who I feel like is your visual.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's sick. No, I think it was the perfect match because Elvis, it's I think the most influential artist ever. He completely changed the way artists look and are seen by the audience, and also the way they behave and the expectation that people have on artists. So I think that having the chance to kind of jump in his story and being, even if in a small part of it,
Yeah.
it was such a beautiful experience. And also like we have a huge connection with Elvis, with his songs. So it also playing it's a huge honor because like there will forever be our own version of an Elvis song, and it's kind of a milestone.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not believe in magic
Yeah.
when you're a kid? And
Also same birthday, so we kind of
are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. It's me,
Bowie,
it's me, Elvis, and Bowie.
Bowie as well, right?
No. You can't be serious.
Yeah, I swear to God.
What's your birthday?
8th of January.
8th of January.
Yeah,
See?
lucky day.
God was like, man, I got to give everyone some good news.
Some sprinkle.
In the first couple of weeks of the year, otherwise people are going to go crazy. These human beings in their whole time-space continuum, this whole calendar they've created, they're going to blow themselves up, man. I need to give him Bowie. I need to give him Elvis. I need to give him Damiano.
One fun fact about our birthdays. Everyone
Yeah.
has an 8
Ah,
at the
yeah.
end.
In the
Yeah. In our
He's
birthday.
8th of January. I'm 8th of October. You're 28th of April, and Thomas is 18th of January. January, right?
yeah.
So it's kind of right.
It was
it's
meant
kinda
to
fun.
be.
It was meant to be.
It was
So what's
meant
your-
to be.
What's your star sign?
Libra.
Sign
Libra?
Libra.
Libra
yeah.
makes sense. My wife's a Libra. What about you?
Taurus.
Uh-huh.
Taurus.
Capricorn.
Capricorn. No Pisces.
Let's
No
go.
Pisces.
Capricorn power.
Thank God for that. I'm very
You
sorry
don't like
about
Pisces?
it.
I love Pisces, but if you put a Pisces in your group, you'd explode. The first time we met, it was super early. And everyone was really tired, and I was tired. And we had a good time. We actually, against all odds, we had a good time. But this has been great for me. I've had such a great time getting to know you properly and just better understanding the chemistry of the band. We don't have to have this conversation ever again. Next time we meet, we can just talk about whatever's happening in the moment and just laugh and have a great time. So I'm gonna call time right now and say thank you. And until next time, be
Thank you
safe
so
on the
much.
road.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for your time.
Take care of each other. The road, man. It's